We're here with the editors of TDR's special issue, Still Exhausted, Labor, Digital Technologies, and the Performing Arts. Thank you all for being here. Let me just start by our first question, which is where this special issue came from. Where does the idea for it came from, and how does the special issue came about? We're interested in knowing the inspiration behind it.
Of course, I can start. It began in a very inchoate way. Uh, I think as one of the wonderful things about TDR as a publication is it does allow some of its journals and packages to come out of conversation, really, and arise more organically than a more formal traditional submission process. And this very much came from uh, Richard Schechner wanting to have something that would address issues of digital technology. He was interested in robotics. He knew Catie and Sydney were working in this area. And it started with just a very loose conversation with the two of you, and then you looped me in. And uh, there was a crucial call with the three of us, Sydney, Catie, and me, where I think the question that really helped activate us was just us commenting, like, what are trends we're seeing in work that we're all aware of, and what artists are doing and making, and what are ways that feels like it's making some shift in the histories of these sorts of techno performance practices. What are ways that we think that scholarship is maybe not quite keeping up with the creative field, and what's happening there. And something that kept centering in our conversation was this trope across working with what we'll now call AI. At the time might have been called machine learning or algorithms, um, robotics. There was this trend of artists really emphasizing their own work and labor, and often themes of fatigue, especially in dance work, um, uh, alongside technologies that are discursively framed as labor-saving technologies. Um, and in doing so, many of these artists were finding some sort of angle, working with this tech towards some kind of broader political and social critique. Not always in the same way, not always with all the same politics, but there was some sort of shared tactic going on, with artists being interested in taking these things that are supposed to do work for us, and then using them in ways that produce lots and lots of work for the artists. And Sydney and Catie both knew this personally from their own practices, and had also been, drawing that out and bringing attention to that in your own practices. And we felt that this was remarkable in the public discourse. So, like, why is it that we are really interested in these machines as things that promise some sort of automation and labor saving, but then when we're working with them creatively, we show how they're exhausting us? And then we were interested in this academically, where it felt like the field of research about performance and emerging media, which have been very interested in a long time in screened media and issues of video, issues of internet and sort of distance performance, hadn't yet really taken this turn to considering the politics of work that seemed so on the mind of so much, both performance and AI and performance and robotics sort of spheres. And so we felt like we could open that up, flagging that sort of nexus of topics that could bring in the work of artists talking about their own practices, scholars who were interested in these areas of work, and hopefully really reorient a whole framework for thinking about performance and technology in an era where that intersection has become so politicized.
The ways that these scholars and practitioners, researchers and artists are able to not just fashion creative and scholarly practices, but then to represent those with words is really, really hard. And so something I really loved about this process was being able to learn not only about the scholarly practices, the theoretical interventions, the literally how do these folks make anything happen in their artistic or scholarly lives, but also then the narrating of those processes was really vital and exciting. Not only because it's hard, but because it's really hard to do well. And so something I would love for this issue to be useful for ensuing generations of thinkers and artists here is just as like models of ways of narrating the complexities as academics, as creators, because I would love for me and for us to all kind of get better at that commingling.
Thank you for all of the work and for sharing it with the wider community. On behalf of the committee, congratulations on being an awardee for the 2025 ATHE Edited Works Award. And hopefully we will see you at ATHE or another conference soon.